Hello and welcome to today's social media training for insurance agencies. My name is John Scranton. I'll be your speaker today. And a little bit about me. I was formerly a licensed agent in upstate New York. I'm now an agency marketing pro. So it gives me a unique perspective of being on both the insurance and the marketing sides of the fence. And my areas of specialty are blogging and social media. So hopefully I can give you a lot of good insight today into what we think you should be doing, what you need to be doing from a social media perspective. To tee things up, we're going to spend our time today on the big four: LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Google+. The LinkedIn icon is a lot bigger because for insurance agencies like yours, the B2B aspect, the commercial lines and group benefits aspect that we find most of the revenue comes from and most of the prospects that you covet live in will be more prevalent on LinkedIn. You'll be able to generate more activity with those prospects on LinkedIn. So we're going to spend less time on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. Doesn't mean they should be ignored, but LinkedIn will be our focus and will be about half of the presentation today. Teeing things up for LinkedIn, there's really three areas you need to pay attention to: your individual profile, your company page, and groups. We'll talk about each one so that you're comfortable with what you need to be doing so that you look professional, current, and that you're interacting with the people that you want to be talking to. Your profile. Here's a snapshot of my profile. A couple things that you'll notice. One is I took the time to make sure that everything is complete. There's no blanks. I have a profile picture that looks, reasonably professional. I'm wearing a tie, and I have a background image behind here. You can see this blue image. You can now have a banner image behind your profile, which can look very slick. Twitter has the same thing. Facebook has the same thing. But we want to make sure that you take the time to complete all the fields and add the images so that when somebody comes to your profile, they say, here's somebody that knows what they're doing. Here's somebody that's taking the time to look professional. Maybe they know what they're talking about. Down below, more importantly, it shows my background, my summary, and my connections. You can see here I have 1,454 followers. So I'm posting regularly, and people are paying attention to what I have to say. Part of that's because they can see that I'm a professional guy that's taken the time to complete my profile and look sharp. I've also added my background down below, this summary here, and you can see it's a little truncated, but there's videos embedded in my summary. One thing that you can do with your LinkedIn profile that I think is really neat and adds some more dynamic content is if you say, I'm an insurance agent, that's good. But if you say, I'm an insurance agent, and here's an educational presentation that I did or a webinar that I did that I recorded and can share with you, I think that's much better. So down below here, I have a couple webinars that I did talking about e-marketing and social media that people can watch to determine whether or not they think that I actually know what I'm talking about. So moving on within the profile, here's a couple more screenshots. A more deeper drill down on experience shows where I am now, where I've been. I made sure to get recommendations for each one of the positions that I've had in my professional career. So you can see running down the right, took a shot of a few recommendations. You can send an email through LinkedIn. It's very professional. It's not intrusive. And ask a few of your current clients or maybe even a few of your past employers to recommend you and let people know that you are a professional person who has expertise. It's a little bit like the references on your resume in a digital format. So when you are introduced to somebody on LinkedIn and they see that you're a professional insurance agent, now they can see that another business person like them has recommended you, has had a good experience with you, so when you call or you email them or try to connect with them, they might be more receptive. It's very simple. It's something that just takes a little bit of time. Not a lot of talent, just a little bit of time to go out and request a few recommendations. You can also see a little bit clearer picture of the embedded videos that I put showing that, hey, I am the Director of Biz Dev for Startup Selling, and here's some videos that you can see what we do and what I have to talk about and how we might be able to help you. So once your profile looks good on LinkedIn, step 2 is start getting active with your company page. Here's a screenshot of our Startup Selling company page. On the left, you'll see that we have a description, some fields. We recommend that you complete the specialties here. In our case, insurance agency marketing, insurance agency leads. In your case, it's going to be risk management and insurance keywords. But we like completing those specialties because really they're your SEO keywords. Business insurance and group benefits insurance in whatever location that you're focusing on. Down the right, we have some updates. Just like you can post updates, everybody knows you can post updates to your profile. You can also post regular updates to your company page. We recommend you do it a minimum of once a week. They can be various things, announcements, events. You can see here I mentioned a webinar. I shared something about a LinkedIn group. Keep pushing information that might be of interest, that might be of use to your prospects so that when they're open to looking, when they're listening, they see that you have something to say. So the company page and your profile are now looking good. Step 3, groups. And this is a big opportunity. If you have an active LinkedIn presence and you have 500 connections, that's great. But if you join a group that has 10,000 members, you've just expanded your universe 20-fold. When you participate in groups, you want to share educational information, and you want to share that information with people that you would like to sell to. So joining groups of your local PIA or associations, Chamber of Commerce, things like that, that's all good. Go ahead and do that. Join your alumni group. But also make sure that you join some groups where you can deliver value to your prospects. So if you want to sell to contractors, join a group that consists of contractors and other professionals who service contractors, or if you want to sell to software companies or technology companies, join a group that consists of those professionals and share educational information with them. If you try to sell insurance in the groups, they're going to kick you out because nobody wants to see, hey, I can save you 15% or more on your premium in a LinkedIn group. But if you have value that you can share, explaining to them how to comply with changing regulations, or explaining to them how new alternatives and new products have changed the landscape for other businesses like them, then they'll listen, then they'll interact with you. Once you're comfortable participating in groups, the next step is actually to create your own group. And the screenshot here is an insurance agency lead gen group that we created a couple years ago. It now has almost 3,000 members, 2,890 members, primarily consisting of insurance agents and people that we want to sell to. Now, when you create a group, there's really 2 benefits. One, you can invite who you want to invite and who you want to participate. And 2, you can control the dialogue. So when people come in and say things that you may not feel are befitting, or people come in that are competitive, you can monitor that and make sure that people aren't abusing the privilege of the group. You can see I took snapshots of a couple of recent posts from this group. One happens to be from me. One happens to be from my CEO, Alan Bloom. So here we are sharing information, valuable information, not salesy information, with people that we'd like to sell to. So LinkedIn, profile, company page, groups, all very important. In my opinion, those 3 are just as important, if not more important, than the next 3 social networks that we'll briefly talk about. We'll start that right now with Twitter. There's that blue image again. Every social network now is moving to this look where you have your profile picture and a background image. And I've chosen this blue web marketing image to brand myself with, to build continuity across my profiles. But make sure that you have an attractive image in the background of not only your LinkedIn but your Twitter profile, because when somebody visits it, you could see that it's huge on the screen. Many people who don't pay attention to their profiles on a regular basis may not know that their profile has been moved to this format and may have something blank, or if they had a background picture under the old format, it may be stretched across the screen and look really terrible. So Twitter, our opinion is, for a B2B commercial lines group benefits type organization, you're not going to get a lot of direct sales from Twitter, but you are going to still get some value, and it's simple to post. If you're using a tool like Buffer or HubSpot or something that will automatically post to LinkedIn, automatically post to Twitter too, because you're going to have a multitude of benefits. One, on your website, if somebody looks at your Twitter profile, they're going to see that you're professional, that you're participative, that you're active, and that you're making sure that you're sharing information on a regular basis. Two, Google likes Twitter. So all these links that you're posting on Twitter, hopefully you're posting links of valuable information driving people back to your website, will also drive search engines back to your website. And three, Twitter is still gaining popularity with more business people. So if you're using hashtags in your tweets, you can see that I've used a hashtag of insurance, another one of marketing. People are seeing what you're talking about. We have increased our webinar registration by posting webinar invitations to Twitter and using hashtags like insurance, marketing, or webinar. So don't ignore Twitter. Make sure that you're posting. You're not going to get the same value as you get from LinkedIn, but it is worth the time, and it shouldn't be a lot of effort if you're using an automated social media posting tool. Next one's Facebook. Facebook, I often get interesting questions from agency executives who say, why would I bother? It's where my kids post pictures of their food and their dog. And you know what? They're right. But you still need to have a Facebook page that looks reasonable and looks attractive, because somebody may visit it and they don't want to see you asleep at the switch. Setting up a Facebook page shouldn't be a extremely difficult task. There's really three things that you need to do. One, choose a profile photo, as we've done here with this Rubik's Cube of social media. Two, choose a background image. We used our logo. And three, begin posting regularly. Post once a week. Make sure that you're, again, sharing information of value. Don't talk about cutting premiums and reducing costs for your clients, because nobody's going to care. They're going to unfollow you. But if you're sharing educational information, people will follow your page. They'll like your page gradually. You can see here we have 154 likes. That's not a lot compared to a retail organization, but it's more than a lot of agency Facebook pages that we visit where they have 6 of their employees that have liked the page and then kind of forgotten about it. So the key here, Facebook is a checkbox. You want to make sure that you cover it. Don't invest a ton of time in it, especially if you're B2B commercial lines type agency. Last but not least, Google+. Quick screenshot of our Google+ profile. Google+ is really interesting. Some people will say it's the least important of the social media networks and the least used, and there are some statistics to indicate that. Now, some people who care more about search results, SEO, will say that it's actually paramount because it's Google's social media network, and Google looks at their own social network all the time, and it's very likely that their social network is the one that's going to show up in search results. So we tend to put it in the same category as Facebook. It's a checkbox that can't be ignored. You need to post regularly. Again, broken record here. Educational information. Use hashtags like you did on Twitter. Insurance, marketing, you can search by hashtags. Make sure that you do something to attract a few followers. So if somebody comes to your page, you don't want to have no followers and look irrelevant. But don't spend a ton of time on Google Plus either. A lot of time on LinkedIn, a little time on Twitter. Facebook and Google Plus check boxes to make sure that your organization looks professional, looks like you know what you're doing, and make sure that everything you're posting across all these networks is educational. So we'll review really quickly. LinkedIn is the place for B2B professionals. Commercial lines agencies trying to sell to businesses should invest their time on LinkedIn. Make your profile attractive and professional and build your network of connections with prospects, clients, colleagues, friends, relatives even. Make your company page look sharp and post to it regularly, at least once a week. Begin joining groups, get comfortable in the dialogue, and then eventually create groups. Create a group for your prospects where they can come find educational information. Share your posts to Twitter as well. And make sure that on Facebook and Google+, you at least look current. You at least have them covered as a checkbox.